Good evening, everyone. Virgo Triad here. It is May 11th, 2019, and I just wanted to take a minute. I had run across something here that was actually posted in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette very recently here. I believe it was in March. And with everything that we've been dealing with on this channel with regards to the Sharon Tracy Gale Bay scenario and the claim of laying liens against people or placing liens against individuals that seems to be a regular practice in her world. I just wanted to kind of show everybody what's been going on in Pennsylvania with these false liens that are being put out by sovereign citizens and those like them. So this just came out in March. This was, again, this is an article in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I will post the link in the description. And it states, Pennsylvania inmate gets more prison time for filing false liens against Pittsburgh judges. Now, the judges were not the only ones that the liens were filed against. But this article reads, a state prison inmate who filed false liens seeking $56 million against the property of federal judges in Pittsburgh and other court officers earned himself another 4 years in federal prison after his state term is up. U.S. District Judge Christopher Connor, a Harrisburg judge, brought in to handle the case because it involved judges here, imposed a 48-month term Monday on Clarence Hoffert. Hoffert, 58, of Myerstown of Lebanon County, had been convicted last year by a federal court jury in Pittsburgh of 5 counts of filing retaliatory liens, which, by the way, that's exactly what this is. It is filing retaliatory liens, and it's something that is highly illegal and that they are really cracking down on, especially in the state of Pennsylvania, which happens to be where Miss Gale resides. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Buffalo prosecuted the case, and the Public Defender's Office in Harrisburg represented the inmate. Hoffert, who is serving a 15 to 34-year sentence at SCI Albion for a rape conviction in Lebanon County, began filing false liens in 2017 against various court officers and with whom he had disputes over civil actions that he had filed. He targeted U.S. Magistrate Judge Susan Paradise Baxter, U.S. District Judge Mark Hornick, and U.S. Circuit Judge Julio Fuentes. He also named James Tuhey, the director of the Justice Department Civil Division Torts Branch, along with a legal assistant in that office, Charles Marvay. Now, the legal assistant technically would probably not even count as a regular party that this becomes a felony with, as the original laws were set up for judges because it was happening so much to judges. But now most of the states are looking at legislation that changes filing a falsified lien or a retaliatory lien against somebody. Can be anybody that they do it against, that it becomes first a misdemeanor but then a felony. And if it is for a large enough amount, and if it reaches certain venues of threat, it sounds like, or certain has certain wordings in it, it can be looked at as a felony. So my purpose for showing you this today is I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll leave it in the description, like I said, for you guys to look at. But my reason for showing this to you today is that, we have a regular ongoing thing where this channel exposes a group of individuals who are conning people into believing that they're a part of a group which really is more like a cult, or that they are can become some part of this entity that is a separate government from our United States government, and therefore they have the right to go and take people's property. They have the right to go and file false liens against individuals in order to try to collect what personally is theirs, or to collect money of some sort. They believe that there's, these ridiculous secret accounts which actually do not exist, and so they're claiming claiming that they're going to put liens against these bonds and everything. But what it really boils down to is doing as much damage to your credit rating as possible, doing as much damage to you personally and maliciously as they possibly can. They claim themselves most often to be peaceful individuals, when in reality, this is some of the worst, almost a terroristic type of scenario, where it is doing as much personal damage to you as possible, simply because you disagree, or simply because you are exposing the cons that they're running. And that's exactly what the situation is that you guys witnessed yesterday. The threat to do such a thing, the threat to attempt to try to do as much damage to a business as they see that they can get away with. And as a result of that, of course, most of these individuals are now being called on to have to answer for doing that. But at one point, about 5 years ago, this was not even something that was really being looked at in order to prosecute. So people had to take months and sometimes years to get their credit rating cleaned up, to get the courts to give them back property, have to prove, they would have to go in and actually prove that these liens did not belong on them. This is something that everybody needs to be very cautious of, because you can run up against one of these individuals and make a statement that is not meant to be an insult in any way, shape, or form, or simply report on something that they do not appreciate, and they lose their minds, and all of a sudden you're a target. They like doing this. They are not peaceful individuals. They create as much havoc and as much stress as they possibly can for people, and they attempt to try to do someone in from the standpoint of not physical violence, but financial violence. This is a really sickening thing that's going on. It's something where they think they can, as they call it, standing on their square, and they can govern other people as though those people are their, as they claim, quote unquote, subjects. You'll notice that on a lot of the videos that are on the channel that I am discussing right now, you will see that this Moorish American consulate channel has a lot of things that tell you that you as a member of this group are the ones who can demand things. You can tell the government to stand down. You can tell police, whether you've done something wrong, stolen something, or in a property you don't belong in, or whatever, you can tell the police, hey, I'm arresting you, buddy. To hell with you. It doesn't matter what the law says, because we don't abide by your laws. And literally will state that people that are of light skin color or not a part of their group are therefore, in their minds, people that are their subjects, and that is used as a word. Subjects, quote. That's a quote. It's sickening. It's disgusting. It shouldn't be allowed to continue, and people need to be aware of this. So this is just a short video in order to let you guys know what's going on, and that there is legislation going up to deal with these things. And if you'd like to go ahead and forward this on, I think that would be a great thing to do. It's a great service for the public, because, again, you can, for example, a few months back, last year, actually, I had read a very simple article out of the Southern Poverty Law Center. I just read it. That's all I did. And all of a sudden, I get this, bogus arrest warrant, and I get, these supposed claims that they're going to lien property and all kinds of stuff, all because all I did was read an article that happened to offend an 80-year-old man who was a sovereign citizen, reporting on what is going on a specific channel of somebody who has been not convicted yet, but has been charged, rather, with 14 different crimes, just basically letting you guys know what's going on with this radicalized group, it was enough to send them into a frenzy and making claims that they're going to lay a lien on me. So you can see where this is something that could affect somebody without even being aware that you're doing anything that is going to cross them in a way to make them react like this. They are very knee-jerk in their reactions. They're very thin-skinned. They have the tendency to have almost a histrionic narcissism to them that makes them or pushes them to do these fraudulent things. And for some reason, they continue to believe that they will get away with it, even though time and time again they watch their fellow sovereign citizen buddies and their Moorish buddies actually end up in prison over it. So I just wanted to inform everybody, and I hope everybody's having a great Mother's Day weekend. I'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.